Good evening, televiewers, and thank you so much for joining us on this other edition of Agenda, a program where we always get our personalities of those who are making things happen in a very difficult terrain, especially in Cameroon. And we are having back leadership coach Rowland Nkwemain, who is the 2010 JCR president. He is joining me this evening. He's equally the CEO and founder of Go Ahead Africa, a leadership and consultancy firm, which is of course involved in training or management of companies as well as the society. Stay with us. I'll be right back after this. Coach Rowland Nkwemain, thank you so much for joining me once again on this other edition of the program. I must say it's not been easy. As usual, your schedule always up and down, moving, trying to solve one problem or the other. Thank you for joining once again, sir.
Yes, I want to thank you, Kingsley, for inviting me back, and I'm happy to share, to inspire, but also to learn from many people that I meet. Okay. You are totally right that I have a crazy program, but when there is the will, there is the way.
Okay, thank you, Coach, so much for joining. And today, I want us to focus on a program that you created that has been molding and empowering young Cameroonian leaders for the past 10 years now. I'm talking about Cameroon Leadership Academy. When people hear of this name, the first thing that comes to their mind is a physical structure. What is Cameroon Leadership Academy?
Thank you so much, Kingsley. I think Cameroon Leadership Academy is an initiative that is run by Go Ahead Africa, but in terms of CSR. So it is a leadership gathering of young people. We started the academy 1 year after we created our company, Go Ahead Africa. And we put this under the management of our foundation, the Pan-African Leadership Entrepreneurship Foundation. Now, this event is a selection between sometimes 500, 700 young people that apply online. And now there are some few criteria. Age, so the age limit or group is 18 to 35. The second condition, they must be perfectly bilingual. The third is that they must have just an initiative or program, or they are entrepreneurs, or they are willing to become entrepreneurs. Then from there, they will go online and just apply. Now, based on that competition, there's first the online application. We do a pre-selection of 250 to 300. Then later on now, there's an interview. From that interview, we select 50 young girls and 50 young boys. So it's a program that is very gender balanced, 50-50. Now, these 400 young people will spend 1 week with us, where essentially there's training on leadership and management entrepreneurship. But the second part is so important. We bring and invite keynote speakers that are successful people in their various fields that will come now and share their experiences. This is 2 hours every time with one of the speakers. The third pillar that is so strong is that they have case studies. So we identify a problem or a challenge in a community, and they should come out with a solution. So you see, they are more solution oriented. And the last aspect that is so crucial is that we change their mindset. They will sleep less than 4 hours a day. And in the 1 week camp, they will spend what we call 24 hours chrono. It means there will be 1 day where they will not sleep, where we start at 5 a.m. and we finish at 5 a.m. the next day. So at the end of this process, they come out a better version of themselves, knowing very well that better leaders create better organizations. So it's more a leadership and entrepreneurship 1 week program. It's not a school. It's not a physical. So we ran it for many years in Ombe. When the crisis started in our beautiful country, we now came to Vola. And then Vola, we went to Edea. And this year, for the 10th anniversary, it was in Kribi.
Okay. And when Cameroon, we are talking about emergence 2035 in Cameroon, and emergence, many people think that emergence is what we have on papers. So what motivated you, because you talk about emergence in some of the programs, yes, when you were drilling the young Cameroonians, yes, you talk about emergence. So what really motivated you to create this, this initiative 10 years ago?
I think we all know that Africa is a continent of paradox. We are the richest in terms of natural resources, but unfortunately in terms of human development, I don't think we are really behind. And I can say this, because in 2010 as JCI president, I traveled around the world. And I was quite frustrated to see that within the organization I was celebrated. People appreciated my leadership, but I knew very well that there are millions of young people in Africa that are better than me, but they have not had that opportunity to demonstrate who they are, what they stand for, and how capable they are. So we came to the conclusion that the biggest challenge of Africa, the paradox, is because there's poor leadership. Now, when we talk about leadership, I personally define a leader as anyone who inspires, motivates, influences, but most importantly, who is at the service of others. So leadership and the type of leadership we need in Africa is servanthood leadership. And if you look at these young people, they are polytechnicians, they are medical doctors. I mean, it's the elite, it's the crème, as we say in French, of the society. But they lack something. They are mostly in the ABC syndrome. They suffer from it. You see, they will not achieve their life goals because they accuse others why they are not making it. They keep blaming others why they are not successful. And they will complain 24 hours over 24. When you kill this syndrome, and now they will take ownership of the future of their various communities, and they will quickly understand that a leader is not a president, is not a mayor, a minister, or the CEO. These are titles. You can be a president of a country, but you are not a leader. You can be a mayor of a city, and you are not a leader. Leadership is essentially having a vision. So what is your vision? And now if you take the case of Cameroon, we talk about Vision 2030. It's a vision. But it's not enough having a vision. There are two key elements that are crucial. You must inspire all the stakeholders to buy in so that your vision stop being just my vision as Kingsley or as Rowland. It becomes a common and shared vision. But there again, we don't end there. There's the last element that is crucial. And that is a big weakness in my country, Cameroon, and most of the African country, action. We are not action-oriented. We speak a lot of debate, a lot of forums, a lot of conferences. And that's why when I finished my JCI career and I started Go Ahead, I knew very well that I must start a program that is going to be solution-oriented. So that when they ask me, Rowland, after all these experiences, what do you do? I can boldly stand and say, for the past 10 years, we have trained 850 young people. Free, lodge them free, feed them free, clothe them free. And these are hundreds of millions spent by my organization in terms of CSR, corporate social responsibility. So I think one of the reasons, or the main reason why we are running this academy, because we clearly believe that better leaders will create better organization, and that one of the biggest challenges of Africa is poor leadership.
And when you look at these young people, do they have the courage to be able to upset the systems that we have in Africa? The difficult terrains, because most of them, when you inspire them, you give them the tools, when they get to the field now, they find these obstacles, the reality. What do you tell them?
No, look, this is what I tell them. I say, look, the youthfulness of our continent is a promise. It's not something we should be ashamed. It's a promise. Now, but again, they should not feel discouraged by what is going around. Now, in the history of humanity, there have always been problems. There were problems yesterday, there are problems today, and there will be problems tomorrow. The good news is that it is the responsibility of each generation to identify those challenges and address them. You shouldn't expect someone else to address, or older people to address problems of young people. Now, but what is essential is that first, they must believe in themselves. They must continue to dream. Everything starts with a dream. At that age, the range that they are, That's the age of insouciance. They must dream. If you see people going to moon, going to Mars, inventing, creating it starts with a dream. So we shouldn't kill that dream. I insist on the dream. But it's important for them also, and this is something that they are lacking, is to change the mindset. You have said it, that when they will go back to the various community, the reality will be there and things will be tough. But you know very well we have 4 dimensions. The first dimension I work with them is the physical dimension. That's why every day during that program, we start with sport. They must first be healthy. The drinking, the food, the foolishness, that they must take care of the body. For me, it's very crucial. How do you physically strong?
And that's a very big problem. Many people cannot afford 3 square meals in Cameroon.
No, but again, which is not normal, because a young person that is healthy can manage. When you are healthy, believe me, you can. Now, I don't want us to address or to go to the macro and the bigger challenges that, and later on I can explain to you the 3 main actors. I can go quickly. We have 3 main actors in modern society. We have the government, we have the corporate world, and we have the civil society. Now, government is the main pillar. Now, if our government do not inspire, do not work so hard to create a conducive environment where these young people can, do amazing, excel, things become so tough. But government alone cannot solve all the problems. Now you have the second segment, which is the corporate world, patronat, chamber of commerce. Now this corporate world also have their responsibility. They create wealth, they are entrepreneurs, but you will see they are complaining because the taxes and many other is not easy. I mean, you have elements that come from outside but within. And there is no good collaboration between the corporate world and the government. You can even see a lot of tension. And that's why you will see things will not go fast. If you take the case of Nigeria, you see the legacy of President Obasanjo. When he became president, he decided he would create at least a number of billionaires. That's how, it's a vision, but not him. And you saw the result. So it is important for the government and the political leadership to understand that the corporate world is not against. We should collaborate. We need a strong corporate world. They create wealth. They will pay taxes. Now the third actor is the civil society. Our civil society is so weak. Advocacy weak. People quickly compromise. They don't have ideals. They don't have value system. Someone will say yes today and tomorrow is saying no. Total confusion. So before we just blame the government, you see, there are 3 main pillars. And we are working, it's like in the village. You have those 3 stones so that we can prepare food in the African tradition. If one is not okay, the food. So I think it is important for us to have this balance. I was saying all this to say, the first is the physical. The second element we work on is on the mindset, the mental. Today we are talking about mental health. You can see all the scandals. Someone will go and kill that you have money or do funny things. If you look very well, I think mentally we are sick. And it is important for us to build the mental health and strength of these young people. The third is the emotional. How do I address failure? Most of them, because the educational system is not preparing us to fail. They grade us A, B, C. Nonsense. The real life will fail. To do this program, before you became outstanding, there are many times you made errors.
Yes.
But errors, failure is the twin brother of success. So during this program, we tell them, if you don't start, if you don't do something, it's learning by doing process. It's not a problem failing. So you see, the narrative is completely different. And the fourth pillar that will help to build these young people is the spirituality. They shouldn't don't think that we are just physical. We are more spiritual. And the spirituality will help us, when you have faith in God, sincerely, and you have a good relationship with your Creator, dear Kingsley, nothing can make you to be afraid. But where is our faith? I'm not talking just going to church or going to the mosque. It's about a direct and a faithful relationship with your Creator. If you have it, these are the 4 elements that we work hard to make sure that they are complete individuals, entrepreneurs, and leaders.
So what has been the response since you started this program 10 years ago?
Amazing.
So many of the young people impacting their community, some creating industries. What is the feedback?
The feedback is just quite amazing. And this gives me even the opportunity to thank these young people that trusted us, that came to us. Today we have more than 400 initiatives in terms of startups. When I look the way I dress, I see my tea, you know, my food. You have been covering like the impact of.
Yes.
Today we have more than 100 made in Cameroon projects from the academy. Young people that, you know, from food, from dress, from many things. And I mean, we can create a whole program where we'll be celebrating our 10th anniversary of the convention on the 10th December. And I will invite you to come and you can question and see the data. So, but the goal was not to create only entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurship, I'm pushing more entrepreneurship and active citizenship. For me, that's where, I mean, the love of your community.
Yes, that takes me to the issue of patriotism, because many young people, they are not patriotic. They don't want to sacrifice or die for their country.
Yes.
They keep complaining. So how do you address that issue?
Now, let me explain why. Because you must do what we call the analysis causal, the root cause. Why? That's the right question. Why? Why they are doing that? Because the parents have not been role models. If you look at the level of embezzlement of the country, it's just crazy. It's madness. I mean, we embezzle in terms of billions. I mean, this is a fact. I'm not like gossiping. You are a professional journalist. So the environment, when we look, the most crucial element of leadership is leading by example. If we are not role model of our kids, then I'm asking myself, who want to lead? Who do you want to lead? You first start the leadership in your family. So these young people don't have role model. I've been with them for 10 years.
So how do they cut themselves
and
completely from these people who are bad examples to the society?
It's a whole reprogramming. I mean, you have to change the software, reinitiate it, first format it to talk the computer language, because the young people are listening to me.
Yes.
You first format, then now you install a new software. Now, my answer...
What about the hardware? The old people, they will still be there?
No, we need the collaboration between the generation. We shouldn't fall in the conflict of generation. We don't have a lot of conflict in our country. The generational conflict we should avoid. But again, I was trying just to justify, to explain to you why we shouldn't expect them to do. I personally, let me give you my story. I went through all my life to government schools. From primary school, I copy with Mutengene, Lycée Bilingue, Belinga Grammar School, Boya, Lycée Technique Douala Kumasi, Centre Universitaire Douala. In all this journey, I had scholarship. So, naturally, I'm indebted to my country. I don't know if you are getting me.
I'm getting.
I have a moral debt. Today is not the case. When I look at the university, looking where students, they go to school. I went to school in the university where we were less than 20 in a classroom with air condition. We were paid to go to school. I don't know if you are getting me. It doesn't mean that I'm more intelligent or more smarter than my younger kids. Today I'm more than 50 years old. So because of that great system, I could pay back moral debt. But again, these young people should not get discouraged.
Okay.
Their generation have issues, but it is important for them to address those issues. Nobody will address it on their behalf.
Thank you very much, Rowland Nkwemain, JCI, 2010 JCI President, CEO of Go Ahead Africa Limited. It was a pleasure having you to explain to us this project that you've been molding young Cameroonians to become leaders of tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.